I should have done that started. Get distracted from watching other people's videos, but today we're going to try to finish out the book. And this is Spells. Glyph of Warding Greater. Duration, level Cleric 6. This spell functions like Glyph of Warding, except that a Greater Blast glyph deals up to 10 d8 points of damage, and a Greater Spell glyph can store a spell up 6th level or lower. Material components: you trace the glyph with incense, which must first be sprinkled with powdered diamond worth at least 400 gold pieces. Goodberry, transmutation, level Druid 1, components VS/DF. Casting time 1 standard action. Range, touch, targets 2d4 fresh berries touched. Duration 1 day per level. Saving throw, non-spell resistance yet. Casting Goodberry upon a handful of freshly picked berries makes 2d4 of them magical. You, as well as any other druid of 3rd or higher level, can immediately discern which berries are affected. Each transmuted berry provides nourishment as if it were a normal meal for a medium creature. The berry also cures 1 point of damage when eaten, subject to a maximum of 8 points of such curing in any 24-hour period. Good Hope, enchantment, compulsion, mind affecting. Level Bard 3. Components VS. Casting time 1 standard action. Range medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Targets 1 living creature per level, no 2 of which may be more than 30 feet apart. Duration 1 minute per level. Saving throw. Will negates, harmless. Spell resistance, yes, harmless. This spell instills powerful hope in the subject. Each affected creature gains a +2 morale bonus on saving throws, attack rolls, ability checks, skill checks, and weapon damage rolls. Good Hope counters and dispels crushing despair. Grasping Hand, evocation force, level sorcerer wizard 7, strength 7. Components VS, F, DF. So sorcerer wizard level 7, so Osric certainly has this spell. This spell functions like interposing hand, except the hand can also grapple one opponent that you select. The grasping hand gets 1 grapple attack per round. Its attack bonus to make contact equals your caster level plus your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma modifier for wizards, clerics, and sorcerers respectively. The 10 plus 10 for the hand's strength score, 31, -1 for being large. Its grapple bonus is this same figure, except with a +4 modifier for being large instead of -1, -1. The hand holds but does not harm creatures it grapples. Directing the spell to a new target is a move action. The grasping hand can also bull rush an opponent as forceful hand does, but at a +16 bonus on the strength check. +10 for strength, 35 +4 for being large, and a +2 bonus for charging, which it always gets. Or interpose itself as interposing hand does. Clerics who cast this spell name it for their deities. Arcane focus, a leather glove. Oh, it says strength 7, so strength clerics. Grease, conjuration, creation, bard 1, sorcerer wizard 1. Components VSM. Casting time 1 standard action. Range close, 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Target or area, 1 object or a 10-foot square. Duration, 1 round per level. D. Saving throw, spell resistance, no. A grease spell covers a solid surface with a layer of slippery grease. Any creature in the area when the spell is cast must make a successful reflex save or fall. This save is repeated on your turn each round that the creature remains within the area. A creature can walk within or to the area of grease at half normal speed with a DC 10 balance check. Failure means it can't move that round and must then make a reflex save or fall. While failure by 5 or more means that it falls. See the balance skill for details. The spell can also be used to create a greasy coating on an item. Material objects not in use are always affected by this spell, while an object wielded or employed by a creature receives a reflex saving throw to avoid the effect. If the initial saving throw fails, the creature immediately drops the item. A saving throw must be made in each round that the creature attempts to pick up or use the greased item. Butterfingers. A creature wearing greased armor or clothing gains a +10 circumstance bonus on escape artist checks and on grapple checks made to resist or escape a grapple or to escape a pin. Material component: a bit of pork rind or butter. That's funny. That's Greater spell name. Any spell whose name begins with greater is alphabetized in this chapter according to the second word of this spell name. Thus, the description of a greater spell appears near the description of the spell on which it is based. Spell chains that have greater spells in them include those based on the spells: Arcane Sight, Command Dispel, Magic Glyph of Warding, Invisibility, Magic Fang, Magic Weapon, Planar Ally, Planar Binding, Prying Eyes, Restoration, Scrying, Shadow, Conjuration, Shadow Evocation, Shout, and Teleport. Guards and wards. Abjuration. Level Sorcerer Wizard 6. So, something you might have to watch out for in Osric's Tower. Components: VSMF. Casting time: 30 minutes. Range: anywhere within the area to be warded. Area up to 200 square feet per level S. Duration: 2 hours per level D. The saving throw: see text. Spell resistance. This powerful spell is primarily used to defend your stronghold. The ward protects 200 square feet per caster level. The warded area can be as much as 20 feet high and shaped as you desire. You can ward several stories of a stronghold by dividing the area among them. You must be somewhere within the area to be warded to cast the spell. The spell creates the following magical effects within the warded area. Fog. Fog fills all corridors, obscuring all sight, including dark vision beyond 5 feet. A creature within 5 feet has concealment. Attacks have 20% mischance. Creatures farther away have total concealment, 50% mischance, and the attacker cannot use sight to locate the target. Saving throw: none. Spell resistance: no. Arcane locks. All doors in the warded area are arcane locked. They are saving throw: none. Spell resistance: no. Webs. Webs fill all stairs from top to bottom. These strands are identical with those created by the web spell, except that they regrow in 10 minutes if they are burned or torn away while the guards and wards spell lasts. Duration: 2 hours. I wonder if it can be permanent. Saving throw: reflex negates. See text for web. Spell resistance: no. Confusion. Where there are choices in direction, such as a corridor, intersection, or side passage, a minor confusion type effect functions so as to make it 50% probable that intruders believe they are going in the opposite direction from the one they actually chose. This is an enchantment mind-affecting event. Saving throw, non-spell resistance, yes. Lost doors. One door per caster level is covered by a silent image to appear as if it were a plain wall. Saving throw. Will disbelieve if interacting with spell resistance, no. In addition, you can place your choice of one of the following 5 magical effects. 1. Dancing lights. In 4 corridors, you can designate a simple program that causes the lights to repeat as long as the guards and ward spell lasts. Saving throw, non-spell resistance, no. 2. A magic mouth in 2 places. Saving throw, non-spell resistance, no. 3. A stinking cloud in 2 places. The vapors appear in the places you designate. They return within 10 minutes if dispersed by wind while the guards and wards spell lasts. Saving throw. Fortitude negates. See text for stinking cloud. Spell resistance, no. 4. A gust of wind in 1 corridor or room. Saving throw. Fortitude negates. Spell resistance, yes. Okay. Stinking cloud and gust of wind. 5. A suggestion in 1 place. You select an area of up to 5 feet square, and any creature who enters or passes through the area receives the suggestion mentally. Saving throw will negate spell resistance, yes. The whole warded area radiates strong magic of the Abjuration School. A dispel magic cast on a specific effect, if successful, removes only that effect. A successful Mage's Disjunction destroys the entire guards and wards effect. Material component: burning incense, a small measure of brimstone and oil, a knotted string, and a small amount of blood. Focus: a small silver rod. Guidance: divination. Level cleric 0, druid 0. Component: VS. Casting time 1 standard action. Range: touch. Target creature touched. Duration: 1 minute or until discharged. Saving throw. Will negates. Harmless. Spell resistance, yes. This spell imbues the subject with a touch of divine guidance. The creature gets a +1 competence bonus on a single attack roll, saving throw, skill check. It must choose to use the bonus before making the roll to which it applies. Gust of wind, evocation, air, level druid 2, sorcerer wizard 2. Components: VS. Casting time 1 standard action. Range 60 feet. Effect: line-shaped gust of severe wind emanating out from you to the extreme of the range. Duration: 1 round. Saving throw, fortitude negates. Spell resistance, yes. This spell creates a severe blast of air, approximately 50 miles per hour, that originates from you, affecting all creatures in its path. A tiny or smaller creature on the ground is knocked down and rolled 1d4 times 10 feet, taking 1d4 points of non-lethal damage per 10 feet. If flying, a tiny or smaller creature is blown back 2d6 times 10 feet and takes 2d6 points of non-lethal damage due to battering and buffeting. Small creatures are knocked prone by the force of the wind, or if flying, are blown back 1d6 by 10 feet. Medium creatures are unable to move forward against the force of the wind, or if flying, are blown back 1d6 by 5 feet. Times 5 feet. Large or larger creatures may move normally within a gust of wind effect. A gust of wind can't move a creature beyond the limit of its range. Any creature, regardless of size, takes a -4 penalty on ranged attacks and listen checks in the area of a gust of wind. The force of the gust automatically extinguishes candles, torches, and similar unprotected flames. It causes protected flames, such as those of lanterns, to dance wildly and has a 50% chance to extinguish those lights. In addition to the effects noted, a gust of wind can do anything that a sudden blast of wind would be expected to do. It can create a stinging spray of sand or dust, fan a large fire, overturn delicate awnings or hangings, heel over a small boat, and blow gases or vapors to the edge of its range. Gust of wind can be made permanent with a permanency spell. Hallow. Evocation. Good. Level. Cleric 5. Druid 5. Components V, S, M, D, F. Casting time 24 hours. Range touch. Area 40-foot radius emanating from the touched point. Duration instantaneous. Saving throw. See text. Spell resistant. Hallow makes a particular site, building, or structure a holy site. This has 4 major effects. First, the site or structure is guarded by a magic circle against evil effect. Second, all charisma checks made to turn undead gain a +4 sacred bonus. And charisma checks to command undead take a -4 penalty. Spell resistance does not apply to this effect. This provision does not apply to the druid version of the spell. Okay. Okay, so if you're a druid, spell resistance does apply. They should have written that a lot differently. Third, any dead body interred in a hallowed site cannot be turned into an undead creature. Finally, you may choose to fix a single spell effect to the hallowed site. The spell effect lasts for 1 year and functions throughout the entire site, regardless of the normal duration and area or effect. You may designate whether the effect applies to all creatures who share your fate or alignment, or creatures who adhere to another fate or alignment. At the end of the year, the chosen effect lapses, but it can be renewed or replaced simply by casting Hallow again. So I have a campaign setting where it's a sacred druid grove that's like, guarded by satyrs and nymphs. They'll definitely be casting Hallow in there. Spell effects that may be tied to a hallowed site include Aid, Bane, Bless, Cause Fear, Darkness, Daylight, Death Ward, Deeper Darkness, Detect Evil, Detect Magic, Dimensional Anchor, Discern Lies, Dispel Magic, Indoor Elements, Freedom of Movement, Invisibility, Purge, Protection from Energy, Remove Fear, Resist Energy, Silence, Tongues, and Zone of Truth. Saving throws and spell resistance might apply to these spells' effects. See the individual spell descriptions for details. An area can receive only 1 Hallow spell and its associated spell effect at a time. Hallow counters, but does not dispel Unhallow. Material component: herbs, oils, and incense worth at least 1,000 gold pieces plus 1,000 gold pieces per level of the spell to be included in the hallowed area. Hallucinatory terrain. Illusion Clamor level. Bard 4, Sorcerer Wizard 4. Components VSM. Casting time 10 minutes. Range long 400 feet plus 40 feet per level. Area 130-foot cube per level. S. Duration 2 hours per level. D. Saving throw: will disbelief if interacted with. Spell resistance: no. You make natural terrain look, sound, and smell like some other sort of natural terrain. Structures, equipment, and creatures within that area are not hidden nor changed in appearance. Material component, a stone, a twig, and a bit of green plant. I really like to role play that one out. Halt Undead, Necromancy. Level, Sorcerer Wizard 3. Components, VSM. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Targets, up to 3 undead creatures, no 2 of which can be more than 30 feet apart. Duration, 1 round per level. Saving throw, will negate C-text. Spell resistance, yes. This spell renders as many as 3 undead creatures immobile. A non-intelligent undead creature gets no saving throw. An intelligent undead creature does. If the spell is successful, it renders the undead creature immobile for the duration of the spell. Similar to the effect of Hold Person on a living creature. The effect is broken if the halted creatures are attacked or take damage. Material component, a pinch of sulfur and powdered garlic. Harm, Necromancy. Level, Cleric 6, Destruction 6. Components, VS. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, touch, target creature touched. Duration, instantaneous. Saving throw, will, half, C-text. Spell resistance, yes. Harm charges a subject with negative energy that deals 10 points of damage per caster level, to a maximum of 150 points at 15th level. If the creature is successfully saved, harm deals half this amount, but it cannot reduce the target's hit points to less than 1. If used on an undead creature, harm acts like heal. Okay. Goodness. Haste. Transmutation. Level, Bard 3, Sorcerer Wizard 3. Components, ESM. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, close, 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Targets 1 creature per level, no 2 of which can be more than 30 feet apart. Duration, 1 round per level. Saving throw, Fortitude negates. Harmless. Spell resistance, yes, harmless. The transmuted creatures move and act more quickly than normal. This extra speed has several effects. Don't be hasty. When making a full attack action, hasty. Make Treebeard be hasty. A hasted creature may make 1 extra attack with any weapon he is holding. The attack is made using the creature's full base attack bonus, plus any modifiers appropriate to the situation. Making a full attack action, a hasted creature may make 1 extra attack with any weapon he is holding. The attack is made using the creature's full base attack bonus, plus any modifiers appropriate to the situation. This effect is not cumulative with similar effects such as that provided by a weapon of speed, nor does it actually grant an extra action, so you can't use it to cast a second spell or otherwise take an extra action in the round. So I guess you can just, like, if you slash down, you can then slash back up really quickly. A hasted creature gained a +1 bonus on attack rolls and a +1 dodge bonus to AC and reflex saves. Any condition that makes you lose your dexterity bonus to armor class, if any, also makes you lose dodge bonuses. All of the hasted creature's modes of movement, including land movement, burrow, climb, fly, and swim, increase by 30 feet to a maximum of twice the subject's normal speed using that form of movement. This increase counts as an enhancement bonus, and it affects the creature's jumping distance as normal for increased speed. Multiple haste effects don't stack. Haste dispels encounters slow. Material component, a shaving of licorice root. Heal. Conjuration healing. Level cleric 6, druid 7, healing 6. Components V at standard action. Casting time 1 standard action. Range touch. Target creature touch. Duration instantaneous. Saving throw will negate harmless. Spell resistance, yes, harmless. Heal enables you to channel positive energy into a creature to wipe away injury. And afflictions. It immediately ends any and all of the following adverse conditions affecting the target. Ability damage, blinded, confused, dazed, dazzled, deafened, diseased, exhausted, fatigued, feeble-minded, insanity, nauseated, sickened, stunned, and poisoned. It also cures 10 hit points of damage per level of the caster to a maximum of 150 points at 15th level. Heal does not remove negative levels, restore permanently drained levels, nor restore permanently drained ability score points. If used against an undead creature, heal instead acts like harm. The druids can get rid of undead by trying to heal them. Heal, mass, conjuration, healing, level, cleric 9, healing 9. Range, close, 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Real quick to harm. Harm, charge associated negative energy deals 10 points of damage per cast level 2, maximum 150 points at 15th level. Anyway, heal, mass, conjuration, healing. Level, cleric 9, healing 9. Range, close, 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Targets 1 or more creatures, no 2 of which can be more than 30 feet apart. This spell functions like heal, except as noted above, the maximum number of hit points restored to each creature is 250. 250. Heal, mount, conjuration, healing, level, paladin 3. Components, VS, casting time 1 standard action. Range, touch. Target, your mount touched. Duration, instantaneous. Saving throw will negate harmless. Spell resistance, yes, harmless. This spell functions like heal, but it affects only the paladin's special mount, typically a warhorse. Heat, metal, transmutation, fire. Level, druid 2, sun 2. Components, VS, DF. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, close, 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. This is what Gandalf cast on Anduril that time. Target, metal equipment of 1 creature per 2 levels, no 2 of which can be more than 30 feet apart. Or 25 pounds of metal per level, all of which must be within a 30-foot circle. Duration, 7 rounds. Saving throw will negate object. Spell resistance, yes, object. Heat metal makes metal extremely warm. Unattended, non-magical metal gets no saving throw. Magical metal is allowed a saving throw against the spell. An item in a creature's possession uses the creature's saving throw bonus unless its own is higher. A creature takes fire damage if its equipment is heated. It takes full damage if its armor is affected or if it is holding, touching, wearing, or carrying metal weighing 1/5 of its weight. The creature takes minimum damage, 1 point or 2 points to the table, if it's not wearing metal armor and the metal that it's carrying, weighs less than 1/5 of its weight. Druid 2. On the first round of the spell, the metal becomes warm and uncomfortable to touch but deals no damage. The same effect also occurs on the last round of the spell's duration. This is like cold damage. During the second and also the 6th round, intense heat causes pain and damage. On the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds, the metal is searing hot, causing more damage, as shown on the table below. D4, 2d4, 1d4. Any cold intense enough to damage the creature negates fire damage from the spell, and vice versa, on a point-for-point basis. If cast underwater, heat metal deals half damage and boils the surrounding water. Heat metal counters and dispels chill metal. Imagine Osric, once he has his people trapped as players on his magical game board, he forces them to cast opposing spells just to see what happens. I'm gonna have to definitely get me into AI Road that nice game. Osric, the wizard that you don't know is evil until the very end. Well, the character arc, he probably starts out as good and even goes to neutral and then turns evil right at the end. Helping Hand. Evocation. Level Cleric 3. Components. BSDF. Casting time 1 standard action. Range 5 miles. Effect Ghostly Hand. Duration 1 hour per level. Saving throw none. Spell resistance null. You create the ghostly image of a hand, which you can send to find a creature within 5 miles. So, Helping Hand, Cleric 3, sends a ghostly hand to find you. The hand then beckons to that creature and leads it to you if the creature is willing to follow. When the spell is cast, the hand appears in front of you. You then specify a person or any creature by physical description, which can include race, gender, and appearance, but not ambiguous factors such as level, alignment, nor class. When the description is complete, the hand streaks off in search of a subject that fits the description. The amount of time it takes to find a subject depends on how far away the subject is. Distance 100 feet or less. Time to locate 1 round. 1,000 feet, 1 minute. 1 mile, 10 minutes. 2 miles, 1 hour. 3 miles, 2 hours. 4 miles, 3 hours. 5 miles, 4 hours. Once the hand locates the subject, it beckons the creature to follow it. If the subject does so, the hand points in your direction, indicating the most direct feasible route. The hand hovers 10 feet in front of the subject, moving before it at a speed of as much as 240 feet per round. Once the hand leads the subject back to you, it disappears. See, duration 1 hour per level. Hopefully, let's see, level 3. If you're 4 miles away, it gets to you and gestures and then disappears. Oh no. The hand hovers 10 feet in front of the subject, moving before at a speed of as much as 240 feet per round. Once the hand leads the subject back to you, it disappears. The subject is not compelled to follow the hand, nor act in any particular way toward you. If the subject chooses not to follow, the hand continues to beckon for the duration of the spell, then disappears. If the spell expires while the subject is en route to you, the hand disappears. The subject must then rely on her own devices to locate you. If more than one subject within a 5-mile radius meets the description, the hand locates the closest creature. If that creature refuses to follow the hand does not seek out a second subject. Well, Shrat. If at the end of 4 hours of searching, the hand has found no subject that matches the description within 5 miles, it returns to you, displays an outstretched palm indicating that no such creature was found, and disappears. The ghostly hand has no physical form. It is invisible to anyone except you and a potential subject. It cannot engage in combat nor execute any other task, aside from locating a subject and leading it back to you. The hand can't pass through solid objects, but can ooze through small cracks and slits. The hand cannot travel more than 5 miles from the spot it appeared when you cast the spell. Started beckoning somebody, they start following and it vanishes. And they're like, oh, what was that? Huh, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't just follow ghostly hands. Here you are in the setting. You are doing a thing. Out of nowhere, this ghostly hand appears and beckons you to follow it. Do you follow? Hero's Feast. Conjuration. Creation. Level Bard 6, Cleric 6. Components VS, DF. Casting time 10 minutes. Range close. 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Effect feast for 1 creature per level. Duration 1 hour plus 12 hours. Saving throw none. Spell resistance. No. You bring forth a great feast, including a magnificent table, chairs, service, and food and drink. The feast takes 1 hour to consume, and the beneficial effects do not set in until this hour is over. Every creature partaking of the feast is cured of all diseases, sickness, and nausea, becomes immune to poison for 12 hours, and gains 1d8 temporary hit points, plus 1 point per 2 caster levels, maximum plus 10 after imbibing the nectar-like beverage that is part of the feast. The ambrosial food that is consumed grants each creature that partakes a +1 morale bonus on attack rolls, and will saves and immunity to fear effects for 12 hours. If the feast is interrupted for any reason, the spell is ruined and all effects of the spell are negated. That's terrible. I wrote a satyr bard. Hangs out with druids. Heroism, enchantment, compulsion, mind effect, level, bard 2, sorcerer wizard 3. Components of ES, casting time 1 standard action. Range touch, target creature touch, duration 10 minutes per level. Saving throw, will negates, harmless. Spell resistance, yes, harmless. The spell imbues a single creature great bravery and morale in battle. The target gains a +2 morale bonus on attack rolls, saves, and skill checks. Heroism, greater, enchantment, compulsion, mind effect, level, bard 5, sorcerer wizard 6. Duration 1 minute per level. This spell functions like heroism, except the creature gains a +4 morale bonus on attack rolls, saves, and skill checks. Immunity to fear effects and temporary hit points equal to your caster level, maximum 20. Hide from animals. Abjuration, level, druid 1, ranger 1, component S, DF. Casting time 1 standard action. Range touch. Targets 1 creature touched per level. Duration 10 minutes per level, D. So greater heroism is like heroism, except it gains +4 with morale bonus on attack roll, saving, skill checks. Immunity to fear effects and temporary hit points equal to your caster level, maximum 20. Greater heroism. Enchantment, compulsion, mind effect, any word. Touch 10 minutes. Will negate. Spell imbues a single creature with great bravery, morale, and battle. Target gains +2 morale bonus, or +4 morale bonus. Attack rolls, saves. Immunity to fear effects and temporary hit points. So Bard 5, Sorcerer Wizard 6. Bard 2, Sorcerer 3. So hang out with a Bard. So hide from animals. Druid 1, Ranger 1. Opponent's S. Casting time on standard action. Range touch. Targets 1 creature touched per level. Duration 10 minutes per level. That's the kind of spell that have to go on a card. It couldn't be crafted like an object. Saving throw will negate harmless spell resistance, yes. Animals cannot see, hear, nor smell the warded creatures. Even extraordinary or supernatural sensory capabilities such as blind sight, scent, and tremor sense cannot detect nor locate warded creatures, because it's magic. Animals simply act as though the warded creatures are not there. If a warded character touches an animal or attacks any creature, even with a spell, the spell ends for all recipients. Hide from undead. Abjuration. Level Cleric 1. Components VSDF. Casting time and standard action. Range touch. Targets 1 touched creature per level. Duration 10 minutes per level. Saving throw. Will negates harmless. See text. Spell resistance, yes. Undead cannot see, hear, nor smell the warded creatures. Even extraordinary or supernatural sensory capabilities such as blind sense, blind sight, scent, and tremor sense cannot detect nor locate warded creatures. Non-intelligent undead creatures are automatically affected and act as though the warded creatures are not there. So hang out with a cleric in the labyrinth. An intelligent undead creature gets a single will saving throw. There's a 1-touch creature. It can hide itself from undead. Intelligent undead creature gets a single will saving throw. If it fails, the subject can't see any of the warded creatures. However, if it has reason to believe unseen opponents are present, it can attempt to find or strike them. If a warded creature attempts to turn or command undead, touches an undead creature, or attacks any creature, even with a spell, the spell ends for all recipients. Hideous Laughter. Enchantment, compulsion, mind affecting. Level Bard 1, Sorcerer Wizard 2. Components VSM. Casting time 1 standard action. Range close, 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Target 1 creature. Duration 1 round per level. Saving throw. Will negates. Spell resistance, yes. This spell affects the subject with uncontrollable laughter. Okay, you made the subject laugh. Watch out, we can hang out with a bard. Or sorcerer wizard. I'll just cast hideous laughter on you. Just for shits and giggles. This spell affects the subject with uncontrollable laughter. It collapses into gales of manic laughter, falling prone. The subject can take no actions while laughing, but is not considered helpless. After the spell ends, it can act normally. A creature with an intellect score of 2 or lower is not affected. A creature whose type is different from the caster's receives a +4 bonus on its saving throw because humor doesn't translate well. Oh God, just imagine a bard being a stand-up comedian. A bard working as a stand-up comedian, just like getting real popular because he casts hideous laughter on everyone. A creature with an intelligence score, a creature whose type is different. A creature whose type is different from the caster's receives a +4 bonus on its saving throw because humor doesn't translate well. Material component: tiny tarts that are thrown at the target, and a feather that is waved in the air. Tiny tarts that are thrown at the target. Okay. So What if he puts the tarts out on the tables and waves the feather in the air while he's telling jokes? Does he have to throw them, or can he just like get them to eat them? And he puts them on the table. What if they eat the tarts? Seems complicated. Hold animal. Enchantment. Compulsion. Mind affecting. Level animal 2. Druid 2. Ranger 2. Components VS. Target 1 animal. This spell functions like hold person, except that it affects an animal instead of a humanoid. Hold monster. Enchantment. Compulsion. Mind affecting. Level Bard 4. Law 6. Sorcerer Wizard 5. Components VSM DF. Target 1 living creature. This spell functions like hold person, except that it affects any living creature that fails its will save. Arcane material component. One hard metal bar or rod. Sorry, it looks like hand from sitting badly. One hard metal bar or rod, which can be as small as a 3-penny nail. So you just need a nail, and you can hold a monster. Level 4 bard can hold a monster. Any living creature with a nail. And then, presumably, cast hideous laughter on them. Yeah. Hold monster, mask, enchantment, compulsion, mind affecting, level sorcerer wizard 9. Targets 1 or more creatures, no 2 of which can be more than 30 feet apart. This spell functions like hold person, except that it affects multiple creatures and holds any living creature that fails its will save. And it probably needs the same nail. If Osric holds a nail, he can make you all stay still. Oh dear. Hold person, enchantment, compulsion, mind affecting, level bard 2, cleric 2, sorcerer wizard 3. Components VSFDF. Casting time 1 standard action. Range medium 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Target 1 humanoid creature. Duration 1 round per level. DC 10. Saving throw will negate. Spell resistance, yes. The subject becomes paralyzed and freezes in place. It is aware and breathes normally, but cannot take any actions, even speech. Each round on its turn, the subject may attempt a new saving throw to end the effect. This is a full round action that does not provoke attacks of opportunity. A winged creature who is paralyzed cannot flap its wings and falls. A swimmer can't swim and may drown. Arcane focus, a small, straight piece of iron. So, man, Osric can just hold a piece of nail and hold you still. That's terrifying. Old monster. Hold person mass, or hold people, as it were. Enchantment, compulsion, mind affecting, level sorcerer wizard 7. Targets 1 or more humanoid creatures, no 2 of which can be more than 30 feet apart. This spell functions like hold person, except as noted above. Go let him out. So hold person, master, hold people, as it were. Enchantment, compulsion, mind effect. Level sorcerer wizard 7. Targets one or more humanoid creatures, no two of which could be more than 30 feet apart. This spell functions like hold person, except as noted above. Hold portal, abjuration, level sorcerer wizard 1, components V. Verbal. Casting time 1 standard action. Range medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Keep trying. Hold portal. Abjuration. Level sorcerer wizard 1. Component V. Casting time 1 standard action. Range medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Target 1 portal up to 20 square feet per level. Duration 1 minute per level. D. Saving throw none. Spell resistance no. This spell magically holds shut a door, gate, window, or shutter of wood, metal, or stone. The magic affects the portal just as if it were securely closed and normally locked. A knock spell or accessible dispel magic spell can negate a hold portal spell. For a portal affected by this spell, add 5 to the normal DC for forcing open the portal. So 1 minute per level. So low level wizard can hold the door shut for a minute. A high level wizard can hold it shut for several minutes. So Gandalf could totally shut the door more. Yeah. Holy Aura. Abjuration. Good. Level Cleric 8. Good 8. Components VSF. Casting time 1 standard action. Range 20 feet. Targets 1 creature per level in a 20-foot radius. Burst centered on you. Duration 1 round per level. D. Saving throw. Spell resistance. Yes. Harmless. A brilliant divine radiance surrounds the subjects, protecting them from attacks, granting them resistance to spells cast by evil creatures, and causing evil creatures to become blinded when they strike the subject. This abjuration has 4 effects. First, each warded creature gains a +4 deflection bonus to AC and a +4 resistance bonus on saves. Unlike protection from evil, this benefit applies against all attacks, not just against attacks by evil creatures. Second, each warded creature gains spell resistance, 25 against evil spells and spells cast by evil creatures. Third, the abjuration blocks possession and mental influence, just as protection from evil does. Finally, if an evil creature succeeds on a melee attack against a warded creature, the offending attacker is blinded. Fortitude save negates as blindness, deafness, but against holy auras save DC. Focus a tiny reliquary containing some sacred relic. The reliquary costs at least 500 gold pieces. So that's Holy Aura. Cleric, 8. You need a reliquary and a verbal and somatic component. And a brilliant divine radiance surrounds the subjects, protecting them from attacks, granting them resistance to spells cast by evil creatures, and causing evil creatures to become blinded when they strike the subject. And it has 4 effects. The warded creature gains a +4 deflection bonus to AC and a +4 resistance bonus on saves. Each warded creature gains spell resistance 25 against evil spells and spells cast by evil creatures. The abjuration blocks possession and mental influence. And the evil creature succeeds on a melee attack against the warded creature. The offending attacker is blinded. Fortitude save negates. You just need a tiny reliquary. A little expensive reliquary. Holy Smite. Evocation. Good. Level. Good 4. Components VS. Casting time 1 standard action. Range medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Area 20 feet. Radius burst. Duration instantaneous. 1 round. See text. Saving throw will partial. See text. Spell resistance. Yes. You draw down holy power to smite your enemies. Only evil and neutral creatures are harmed by the spell. Good creatures are unaffected. The spell deals 1d8 points of damage per 2 caster levels. Maximum 5d8 to each evil creature in the area, or 1d6 points of damage per caster level. maximum 10d6 to an evil outsider, and causes it to become blinded for 1 round. A successful will saving throw reduces damage to half and negates the blinded effect. The spell deals only half damage to creatures who are neither good nor evil, and they are not blinded. Such a creature can reduce that damage by half, down to 1/4 of the roll with a successful will save. Ooh. Hold on for a minute. Fix a baby boy some breakfast. Hold on a second. What is this? Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes. All right. So back to it. Holy Smite. Holy Smite. Evocation good. Level 4. Level good 4. Components VS. Casting time 1 standard action. Range medium 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Area 20-foot radius burst. Duration instantaneous 1 round. See text. Save and throw. Will partials. Text. Spell resistance yes. You draw down holy power to smite your enemies. Only evil and neutral creatures are harmed by the spell. Good creatures are unaffected. The spell deals 1d8 points of damage per 2 caster levels, maximum 5d8 to each evil creature in the area, or 1d6 points of damage per caster level, maximum 10d6 to an evil outsider, and causes it to become blinded for 1 round. A successful will saving throw reduces damage to half and negates the blinded effect. The spell deals only half damage to creatures who are neither good nor evil, and they are not blinded. Such a creature can reduce the damage by half down to 1/4 of the roll with a successful will save. Holy Sword. Yes. It is called the Mongoose Pocket Player's Handbook. It says it in the title of the video. So, yes, human nature doesn't change. We see this over and over again in all sorts of ways. Peace is death, pacifism is immoral, veganism is immoral. I believe these things. Thank you. Oh, yeah, and the 16th century did ruin everything. The Mongoose Pocket Player's Handbook. Written in 2003. So, it's on the back cover. Use license. Yeah. Open game license, copyright 2000. See, this book, though, I think it's, yeah, this one's the 2003 edition. And I'm just, I'm reading through and commenting on it and coming up with characters based on, spells and items. And, slightly transformative. Voila. So, a holy smite could be called down by a level 4 good cleric and can deal damage to a neutral character. So watch out for them clerics, man. The undead are evil. Holy sword. Evocation good. Level paladin 4. Components VS. Casting time 1 standard action. Range touch. Target melee weapon touched. Duration 1 round per level. Saving throw none. Spell resistance no. This spell allows you to channel holy power into your sword or to any other melee weapon you choose. The weapon acts as a +5 holy weapon, +5 enhancement bonus on attack and damage rolls, extra 2d6 damage against evil opponents. It also emits a magic circle against evil effect as the spell. Okay. Alright, so the weapon acts as a +5 holy weapon, +5 enhancement bonus on attack and damage rolls, extra 2d6 damage against evil opponents. It also emits a magic circle against all evil effects. No, wait, it emits a magic circle against evil effect as the spell. Okay, so the spell, magic circle against evil, is sort of cast on this sword. If the magic circle ends, the sword creates a new one on your turn as a free action. Neato. The spell is automatically cancelled 1 round after the weapon leaves your hand. You cannot have more than 1 holy sword at a time. If this spell is cast on a magic weapon, the powers of the spell supersede any that the weapon normally has, rendering the normal enhancement bonus and powers of the weapon inoperative for the duration of the spell. This spell is not cumulative with Bless Weapon, nor any other spell that might modify the weapon in any way. This spell does not work on artifacts. Note, a Masterwork weapon's bonus to attack does not stack with an enhancement bonus to attack. It should stack. Why wouldn't it stack? That would be awesome. I say cast enhancement stack. Cast enhancement stack. Holy word. Evocation. Good, Sonic. Level. Cleric 7. Good, 7. Component V. Kick V. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, 40 feet. Area, non-good creatures in a 40-foot radius spread centered on you. Duration, instantaneous. Saving throw, none or will negate C-dex. Spell resistance, yes. Any non-good creature within the area that hears the holy word suffers the following ill effects. Hit dice and effect. So a true neutral wizard who hears holy word experiences equal to caster level, deafened up to caster level, -1, blinded, deafened up to caster level, -5, paralyzed, blinded, deafened up to caster level, -10, killed, paralyzed, blinded, deafened. The effects are cumulative and concurrent. No saving throw is allowed against these effects. Deafened, the creature is deafened for 1d4 rounds. Blinded, the creature is blinded for 2d4 rounds. Paralyzed, the creature is paralyzed and helpless for 1d10 minutes. Killed, living creatures die. Undead creatures are destroyed. Furthermore, if you are on your home plane when you cast this spell, non-good extraplanar creatures within the area are instantly banished back to their home planes. Creatures so banished cannot return for at least 24 hours. This effect takes place regardless of whether the creatures hear the holy word. The banishment effect allows a will save at a -4 penalty to negate. Creatures whose hit dice exceed your caster level are unaffected by holy word. Wow. So it's a verbal component, but it doesn't. What do you just say? I cast holy word. Oh, is that what you do? That's all it takes. Horrid wilting, necromancy. Level sorcerer wizard 8, water 8. Horrid wilting. So here we go, Osric. Osric can cast this. Components VSMDF. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, long, 400 feet plus 40 feet per level. Targets, living creatures, no two of which can be more than 60 feet apart. Madam Mim probably cast the wilting on that flower in her windowsill. She could probably cast this too. Madam Mim. I wonder if Merlin could cast Holy Word. No, he's a wizard, so he's not a cleric. You gotta watch out for the clerics. Casting time, okay, so components VSMDF. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, long, 400 feet plus 40 feet per level. Targets, living creatures, no two of which can be more than 60 feet apart. Duration instantaneous, saving throw fortitude half. Spell resistance, yes. This spell evaporates moisture from the body of each subject living creature, dealing 1d6 points of damage per caster level, maximum 20d6. This spell is especially devastating to water elementals and plant creatures, which instead take 1d8 points of damage per caster level, maximum 20d8. Arcane material component, a bit of sponge. Oh, Madam Mim has a sponge. Watch out. Osric. Yeah, I've written a bunch of characters based solely on just reading through. What is wrong with him? Oh Lord, this is good. What is wrong with you, boy? What is your problem? You're being loud. This is what I want to fit for. You also spilled the chocolate. You better clean up that. You better clean that mess. That's not how you do it. Now, I'll give you chocolate milk. You spilled. You don't get a drink for spilling. No, you ask nicely. You say please. Please. Say please. Say please. Son. Son, please. Son. She helps you clean. She gets the free. She's being good. You'll be in a boy. Yeah. You didn't go. That's good. So, Watch out for his heart. Or, watch out for them wizards. Personally, I like playing a druid. Alright, so Horrid Wilting, Necromancy. Level Sorcerer Wizard 8, Water 8. Components VSM, D. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, long, 400 feet plus 40 feet per level. Targets, living creatures, no two of which can be more than 60 feet apart. Duration, instantaneous. Saving throw, fortitude half. Spell resistance, yes. This spell evaporates moisture from the body of each subject living creature, dealing 1d6 points of damage per caster level. Maximum 20d6. This spell is especially devastating to water elementals and plant creatures, which instead take 1d8 points of damage per caster level, maximum 20d8. Arcane material component, a bit of sponge. That's horrible. Hypnotic pattern. Illusion pattern, mind affecting. Level, Bard 2, Sorcerer Wizard 2. Components, B, Bard only. Hypnotic pattern. So V, Bard only, SMC text. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Effect, colorful lights in a 10-foot radius spread. Duration, concentration plus 2 rounds. Saving throw, will negates. Spell resistance, yes. A twisting pattern of subtle, shifting colors weaves through the air, fascinating creatures within it. Roll 2d4 and add your caster level, maximum 10, to determine the total number of hit dice of creatures affected. Creatures with the fewest hit dice are affected first, and among creatures with equal hit dice, those who are closest to the spell's point of origin are affected first. Hit dice that are not sufficient to affect a creature are wasted. Affected creatures become fascinated by the pattern of colors. Sightless creatures are not affected. A wizard or sorcerer need not utter a sound to cast this spell, but a bard must sing, play music, or recite a rhyme as a verbal component. I'd like to know what song they should sing for this. Material component: a glowing stick of incense or a crystal rod filled with phosphorescent material. We could write a whole quest just on the crystal rod. How do you get it? Hypnotism. Enchantment. Compulsion. Mind affecting. Level: Bard 1, Sorcerer, Wizard 1. Components: VS. Casting time: 1 round. Range: close, 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Area: several living creatures, no 2 of which may be more than 30 feet apart. Duration: 2d4 rounds. The saving throw will negate spell resistance, yes. Your gestures and droning incantation fascinate nearby creatures, causing them to stop and stare blankly at you. In addition, you can use their rapt attention to make your suggestions and requests seem more plausible. Roll 2d4 to see how many total hit dice of creatures you affect. Creatures with fewer hit dice are affected before creatures with more hit dice. Only creatures that can see or hear you are affected, but they do not need to understand you to be fascinated. If you use this spell in combat, each target gains a +2 bonus on its saving throw. If the spell affects only a single creature not in combat at the time, the saving throw has a penalty of -2. While the subject is fascinated by this spell, it reacts as though it were 2 steps more friendly in attitude. This allows you to make a single request of the affected creature, provided you can communicate with it. The request must be brief and reasonable. Even after the spell ends, the creature retains its new attitude toward you, but only with respect to that particular request. A creature that fails its saving throw does not remember that you expelled it. Ice Storm. Evocation. Cold. Level: Druid 4. Sorcerer Wizard 4. Water 5. Components: VSMDF. Casting time: 1 standard action. Range: long, 400 feet plus 40 feet per level. Area: cylinder, 20-foot radius, 40 feet high. Duration: 1 full round. Saving throw: none. Spell resistance: yes. The great magical hailstones pound down for 1 full round, dealing 3d6 points of bludgeoning damage and 2d6 points of cold damage to every creature in the area. That's what I'm talking about. I will rain hail down on you. A -4 penalty applies to each listen check made within Ice Storm's effect, and all land movement within its area is at half speed. I can make a whole bunch of things with tiny hail thing. The -4 penalty applies to each listen check made within the Ice Storm's effect, and all land movement within its area is at half speed. At the end of the duration, the hail disappears, leaving no after effects other than the damage dealt. Arcane material component: a pinch of dust and a few drops of water. Man, not that long ago, there was a bad storm here. And hail started coming down from the sky when I was outside, and some of it hit me on the back of the neck. And that was the first time, I think, that I'd endured such a thing. It was amazing. Identifying. Divination. level Bard 1, Magic 2, Sorcerer Wizard 1. Components VSMDF. Casting time 1 hour. Range touch. Targets one touched object. Duration instantaneous. Save and throw non-spell resistance. No. The spell determines all magic properties of a single magic item, including how to activate those functions if appropriate, and how many charges are left, if any. Okay, so spell determines magic properties of a single magic item. Alright then. I don't know if that's a level 1 spell. Okay. So you don't, like, say you find a wand and you don't know how many uses it has left. So touch attack, casting time is an hour though, so you need an hour. And identify does not function when used on an artifact. The arcane material component, a pearl of at least 100 gold piece value, crushed and stirred into wine with an owl feather. The infusion must be drunk prior to spell casting. How is this a level 1 spell? How is this a level 1 spell? This is complicated. How is this a level 1 spell? No, dude. No, dude. This should be a level 8 spell. Illusory script. Illusion, phantasm, mind affecting. Level Bard 3, Sorcerer Wizard 3. Components VSM. Casting time 1 minute or longer. See text. Range touch. Target one touched object weighing no more than 10 pounds. Duration 1 day per level D. Saving throw will negate see text. Spill resistance, yes. You write instructions or other information on parchment, paper, or any suitable writing material. The illusory script appears to be some form of foreign or magical writing. Only the person or people designated by you at the time of the casting are able to read the writing. It's unintelligible to any other character, although an illusionist recognizes it as illusory script. Every unauthorized creature attempting to read the script triggers a potent illusory effect and must make a saving throw. A successful saving throw means the creature can look away with only a mild sense of disorientation. Failure means the creature is subject to a suggestion implanted in the script by you at the time the illusory script spell was cast. The suggestion lasts only 30 minutes. Typical suggestions include close the book and leave, forget the existence of the book, and so forth. If successfully dispelled by Dispel Magic, the illusory script and its secret message disappear. The hidden message can be read by a combination of the True Seeing spell with the Read Magic or Comprehend Languages spell. Write a whole quest just based on this one spell. The casting time depends on how long a message you wish to write, but it is always at least a minute. 1 minute. Casting time 1 minute or longer. Material component, a lead-based ink, cost of not less than 50 gold pieces. Okay, you gotta use expensive ink feathers. Alright. Illusory wall. Illusion, figment, level Sorcerer Wizard 4, component VS. Casting time 1 standard action. Range, close, 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Effect, image, 1 foot by 10 foot by 10 foot. Duration, permanent. Saving throw, will disbelief if interacted with. Spell resistance, no. This spell creates the illusion of a wall, floor, ceiling, or similar surface. It appears absolutely real when viewed, but physical objects can pass through it without difficulty. When the spell is used to hide pits, traps, or normal doors, any detection abilities that do not require sight work normally. Touch or a probing search reveals the true nature of the surface, though such measures do not cause the illusion to disappear. Imagine that in a dungeon. You know, illusory walls inside Osric's tower. You're going down the corridor and you think you're trapped, and the wall's an illusion. I think if you were going to craft this this spell. You would make the dungeon, and then you would the wall's made out of whatever fur material you're using, but then the illusory wall would have to be made of something. Well, if you were doing it in 3D at a computer, you could probably just make a wall that appears to be there but isn't firm. That wouldn't be hard in a computer, but at least I don't think so. But I don't really know how to do that. So if you were gonna craft this out of cardboard, you'd have to get some kind of soft material to make the illusory wall out of, where players could see it, but it's designated that it's illusory by the fact that it's made out of cotton or something. They could pass through it. If you made your game table out of wood or even real stone, and the illusory wall could be made of paper. If you're making it out of foam, a bunch of lilac stuff was made out of cardboard and foam. I need you depict the illusory wall. Some cellophane. You paint the cellophane. Cut it so that you could pass through it. What if you made a ceiling? Again, I can imagine this being done even with simple computer game making. But how would you do it physically? Tracing paper, maybe that would be the thing to use. Fold over some tracing paper. Anyway, the wall appears to be there, but it's designated as different by it being made out of a different material. Fold over some tracing paper and paint the inside to make it look like the wall is really there. No idea. So this spell creates the illusion of a wall, floor, ceiling, and surface. It appears absolutely real when viewed, but physical objects can pass through it without difficulty. When the spell is used to hide pits, traps, or normal doors, any detection abilities that do not require sight work normally. Touch or a probing search reveals the true nature of the surface, though such measures do not cause the illusion to disappear. Some kind of gauze, or could be curtains made of gauze. Cellophane or tracing paper, probably the same. Nice. Imbue with spell ability. Evocation. Level Cleric 4, Magic 4. Components VS, DF. Casting time 10 minutes. Range touch. Target creature touched. See text. Duration. Permanent until discharged. The saving throw will negate harmless. Spell resistance, yes, harmless. You transfer some of your currently prepared spells and the ability to cast them to another creature. Only a creature with an intelligence score of at least 5 and a wisdom score of at least 9 can receive this bestowal. Only cleric spells from the schools of abjuration, divination, and conjuration healing can be transferred. The number and level of spells that the subject can be granted depends on its hit dice. Even multiple castings of imbue with spell ability can't exceed this limit. So a cleric prepares some spells, and they transfer the ability to cast these to another creature that has an intelligence score of 5 and a wisdom score of 9. And these spells have to be from the schools of abjuration, divination, and conjuration. Conjuration healing. The number and level of spells the subject can be granted depends on its own hit dice. Even multiple castings of imbue with spell ability can't exceed this. Okay. HD of recipient and spells imbued. 2 or lower, 1 first level spell, 3 to 4, 1 or 2 first level spells, 5 or higher, 1 or 2 first level spells, and 1 second level spell. So you can only really give them a couple of spells. The transferred spells of variable characteristics, range, duration, area, and the like function according to your level, not the level of the recipient. Okay, so you can see this is a level 4 cleric. So you can give these spells to like a lower level cleric. There's a little boy who wants some Ovaltine. Baby boy wants some Ovaltine. City, whatever produce you have, unless you cut them up. Right. It's at 23%. Okay. Let's return to the mongoose have to play with him. That a baby boy has his Ovaltine. So hit dice of recipient 2 or lower. Spells imbued 1 first level spell. 2 to 4, 1 or 2 first level spells. 5 or higher, 1 or 2 first level spells, and 1 second level spell. The transferred spells' variable characteristics, range, duration, area, and the like function according to your level, not the level of the recipient. Once you cast Imbue with spell ability, you cannot prepare a new 4th level spell to replace it until the recipient uses the imbued spells or is slain, or until you dismiss the Imbue with spell ability spell. In the meantime, you remain responsible to your deity or your principles for the use to which the spell is put. If the number of 4th level spells you can cast decreases. Wait. 1 or 2 first level spells. The 4th level spells you can cast decreases, and that number drops below your current number of active imbue with spell ability spells. The more recently cast imbued spells are dispelled. Okay, so in the meantime, you remain responsible to your deity or your principles for the use to which the spell is put. If the number of 4th level spells you can cast decreases and that number drops below your current number of active imbue with spell ability spells, the more recently cast imbued spells are dispelled. To cast a spell with a verbal component, the subject must be able to speak. To cast a spell with a somatic component, it must have human-like hands. To cast a spell with a material component or focus, it must have the materials or foci. Okay, so let's say there's a cleric, and he's leading the temple, and he's got some lower level clerics that he's letting them use his spells to practice. What does it do for their spell slots? Does this give them extra spell slots, or takes up their spell slots? Implosion. Evocation. Level Cleric 9. Destruction 9. Destruction. Components VS. Casting time 1 standard action. Range. Close 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Targets 1 corporeal creature per round. Duration. Concentration up to 4 rounds. Saving throw. Fortitude negates. Spell resistance, yes. You create a destructive resonance in a corporeal creature's body. Watch out for them clerics. For each round you concentrate, you cause 1 creature to collapse in on itself, killing it. This effect, being instantaneous, cannot be dispelled. You can target a particular creature only once with each casting of the spell. Implosion has no effect on creatures in gaseous form or on incorporeal creatures. And Mazur better cast that other spell. Find the path. Yeah, that one. A magic field appears around you. Collecting deflects coming arrows, range attacks. Okay, that's just range attacks. Disintegrate. Thin green ray springs from your pointed finger, and you make a successful range touch attack to hit. They take 2d6 points of damage per cast level. Any creature reduced to 0 fewer hit points by this spell is instantly disintegrated, leaving behind only a trace of fine dust. Yeah, that's creepy. Shopping in clerics. Yeah. Implosion has no effect on creatures in gaseous form or incorporeal creatures. Okay, so he can cast incorporealness on himself. Imprisonment. Abjuration. Sorcerer, Wizard 9. Components V. Casting time 1 standard action. Range touch. Target creature touched. Duration. Instantaneous saving throw. Will negate. Spell resistance, yes. When you cast Imprisonment. So this is Imprisonment. Abjuration. When you cast Imprisonment and touch a creature, it is entombed in a state of suspended animation. See the temporal stasis spell. In a small sphere far beneath the surface of the earth. That is crazy. Sorcerer Wizard 9. So this is something Ozra can do. Components VS. Imprisonment and touch creature is entombed in a state of suspended animation. Temporal stasis. In a small sphere far beneath the surface of the earth. The subject remains there unless a freedom spell is cast at the locale where the imprisonment took place. Magical search by a crystal ball, a locate object spell, or some other similar divination does not reveal the fact that a creature is imprisoned, but discern location does. A wish or miracle spell will not free the recipient, but will reveal where it is entombed. If you can know the target's name and some fact about its life, the target takes a -4 penalty on its save. Okay. That is downright dirty. Incendiary Cloud. Conjuration, Creation, Fire. Level Fire 8, Sorcerer Wizard 8. Components VS. Casting time. 1 standard action. Range, medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Effect, cloud spreads in 20-foot radius. 20 feet high. So, 1 standard action. Spell, I think it would take longer. Range medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Effect, cloud spreads in a 20-foot radius, 20 feet high. Duration 1 round per level. Saving throw, reflex, half, see text. Spell resistance, no. An incendiary cloud spell creates a cloud of roiling smoke shot through with white hot embers. The smoke obscures all sight as a fog cloud does. In addition, the white hot embers within the cloud deal 4d6 points of fire damage to everything within the cloud on your turn each round. All targets can make reflex saves each round to take half damage. As with a cloud kill spell, the smoke moves away from you at 10 feet per round. Ball. Yes, sir, ball. They're a nice ball. Ball. Oh, what a cute little ball. This is a nice ball. Oh. Ball. It's okay, so incendiary cloud. I could make this just like you make the other cloud spells, with a whole bunch of cotton balls spread out, or some of that Halloween web stuff. And incendiary cloud, you just paint like little red dots in it. I don't think you need to go so far as having LEDs in it. Although there's nothing stopping you, is there? Turn on a base that powers LEDs. That would totally work. But you could keep it simple and just have like little red painted dots all up in it. Or it says white hot, so white ones. Oh. Get catch. Catch. Catch ball. Catch ball. Catch ball. Catch. 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 Catch ball. There's some wholesome baby catch ball going on here. We're on incendiary cloud. Implosion's friggin' evil. Anyway, imprisonment too. So, anyway, fire 8, sorcerer wizard 8, incendiary cloud, conjuration, creation, fire. Component VS, casting time 1 standard action, range medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Effect: cloud spreads in a 20-foot radius, 20 feet high. Make a nice looking cloud full of little white dots. It says white hot, so duration 1 round per level. Saving throw, reflex half, see text. Spell resistance no. Incendiary cloud spell creates a cloud of roiling smoke, so it should be dark. Shot through with white hot embers. Yeah, so it's like you get some like dark gray cotton and painted the little white hot embers in there. The smoke obscures all sight as a fog cloud does. In addition, the white hot embers within the cloud deal 4d6 points of fire damage to everything within the cloud on your turn each round. All targets can make reflex saves each round to take half damage. As with a cloud kill spell, the smoke moves away from you at 10 feet per round. Figure out the smoke's new spread each round based on its new point of origin, which is 10 feet farther away from where you were when you cast the spell. So you could also move, probably. By concentrating, you can make the cloud... Well, no, if you have to concentrate, you probably can't move. You can make the cloud actually its point of origin move as much as 60 feet each round. Any portion of the cloud that would extend beyond your maximum range dissipates harmlessly, reducing the remainder spread thereafter. As with fog cloud, wind disperses the smoke and the spell can't be cast underwater. Inflict critical wounds, necromancy. Level cleric 4, destruction 4. This spell functions like inflict light wounds, except that you deal 48 points of damage plus 1 point per caster level, maximum plus 20. So inflict critical wounds. Inflict critical wounds mass. Inflict critical wounds mass. Necromancy. Level cleric 8. This spell functions like mass inflict light wounds, except that it deals 48 points of damage plus 1 point per caster level, maximum plus 40. Inflict light wounds. Necromancy. Level cleric 1. Destruction 1. Component BS. Casting time 1 standard action. Range touch. Target creature touched. Duration instantaneous. Saving throw. Will half. Spell resistance, yes. When laying your hand upon a creature, you channel negative energy that deals 1d8 points of damage plus 1 point per caster level, maximum plus 5. Since undead are powered by negative energy, this spell cures such a creature of a like amount of damage rather than harming it. Inflict light wounds, mass. Necromancy. Level cleric 5, destruction 5. Components. BS. Casting time 1 standard action. Range close 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Target 1 creature per level, no 2 of which can be more than 30 feet apart. Duration instantaneous. Saving throw will have. Spell resistance, yes. Negative energy spreads out in all directions from the point of origin, dealing 1d8 points of damage plus 1 point per caster level, maximum plus 25 to nearby living enemies. Nearby living enemies. What are you doing? That's mine. No, you can't have that. That's mine. Oh, a pencil. You want to color? No, no, no. No coloring in the reading book. Can I please read my book? May I please read my book? I would like to just read my book. Can you be quiet? You can color. But how about you get your coloring book? Oh. Oh, poor Bill. Cut your hair and your nose and your eyes and your tummy and your ears. Ears and eyes and mouth and nose. Be quiet. You want me to be so loud. Inside, please. So that's my pencil. Try drawing some shapes. Draw a triangle. Draw a circle. Draw a square. Draw a better square than that. Draw more triangles. That looks like a boat. Oh, what are those bubbles? Bubbles. Hmm. No. Oh, what was that? Thank you. No. 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 Would you please quit it? Oh. You didn't even finish your food. Go eat your food. No, 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 no. Oh, you bad. Weird. Weird. Go check on them. What are you doing? Get out of my stuff. No. That's mommy's. You don't play with that. Come eat your food. Why are you offended? You're not allowed to offend. You don't. You go here. Hey, you know, like nice. This is why I can't ever get nothing done. I think we were so. Let's see. Inflict light wounds. You deal 1d8 points of damage plus 1 point per class. Ugh. All right. Inflict critical wounds, mass, inflict light wounds, mass, inflict minor wounds. Okay, inflict light wounds, mass. Necromancy, cleric, 5, destruction 5. Components, VS. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, close, 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Target 1 creature per level, no 2 of which can be more than 30 feet apart. Duration instantaneous. Saving throw, will half. Spell resistance, yes. Negative energy spreads out in all directions from the point of origin, dealing 1d8 points of damage, plus 1 point per caster level, maximum plus 25, to nearby living enemies. Like other inflict spells, mass inflict light wound cures undead in its area rather than damaging them. A cleric capable of spontaneously casting inflict spells can also spontaneously cast mass inflict spells. Inflict minor wounds. Necromancy. Cleric 0. Saving throw will negate. This spell functions like inflict light wounds, except that you deal 1 point of damage and a will save negates the damage instead of having it. halving. Inflict moderate wounds. Necromancy. Level, Cleric 2. This spell functions like inflict light wounds, except that you deal 2d8 points of damage, plus 1 point per caster level. Maximum plus 10. Inflict moderate wounds. Mass. Necromancy. Level, Cleric 6. This spell functions like mass. Inflict light wounds, except that it deals 2d8 points of damage, plus 1 point per caster level. Maximum plus 30. Inflict serious wounds. Necromancy. Level, Cleric 3. This spell functions like inflict light wounds, except that you deal 3d8 points of damage, plus 1 point per caster level. Maximum plus 15. So inflict serious wounds is 3d8 points of damage, and inflict critical wounds is 4d8 points of damage. So this is inflict serious wounds is just below inflict critical wounds. Inflict critical wounds. 4d8 points of damage is Cleric 4, Disruptor 4, inflict moderate wounds is 6, inflict serious wounds is 3, so wonder why moderate is above. Oh, why are you taking my stuff? No, you're gonna go mark it on the walls and crap. No. What is your problem? Go to the potty. Okay, so inflict moderate wounds, necromancy, level cleric 2. This spell functions like inflict light wounds, except that you deal 2d8 points of damage, plus 1 point per caster level, maximum plus 10. So moderate wounds, like inflict light wounds, which is minor wounds is you deal 1 point of damage and it will negate it. Okay. Minor wounds, so inflict light wounds, cleric 5, and deals 1d8 points of damage. And this is 2d8 points of damage. We'll list these spells by the damage they inflict. Plus 1 point per caster level, maximum plus 10. Inflict moderate wounds, mass, necromancy, level cleric 6. This spell functions like mass, inflict light wounds, except that it deals 2d8 points of damage plus 1 point per caster level, maximum plus 30. Inflict serious wounds, necromancy, level cleric 3. This spell functions like inflict light wounds. Why is moderate wounds 6? And serious wounds 3. This doesn't seem right. Yeah, look, I really think that's an error. I think this should say 3. Because this says 2, so this should say 3, and this should say 6. There's definitely an error here. On page 300, I found a very serious typo. This should definitely be 6, and this one 3. 3d8 points of damage. Yeah. This is 2d8 points of damage. So this is 2d8, 2d8. So this should not be 6. All right, fixed. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like you have shoes on, does it? But you do. You have shoes on. I have boots. Take these clothes to your room now. These holes are clean, put them away. No. Put them away. I don't want to hear it. Get up and get over here. Pick these up. There ain't no room for them on the floor in here either, you little shit. Now come and get them and pick them up and put them away. Good. Good boy. How are you back talking to me? Do what you told. Can y'all please stop making noise? Okay. So, inflict serious wounds, necromancy, level cleric 6. Inflict moderate wounds, mass, necromancy, level cleric 3. This spell functions like mass inflict light wounds, except that it deals 2d8 points of damage plus 1 point per cast level, maximum plus 30. Inflict serious wounds, necromancy, level cleric 6. This spell functions like inflict light wounds, except that you deal 3d8 points of damage plus 1 point per caster level, maximum plus 15. Inflict serious wounds, mass, necromancy, level cleric 7. This spell functions like mass inflict light wounds, except that it deals 3d8 points of damage plus 1 point per caster level, maximum plus 35. Insanity. Enchantment. Compulsion. Mind affecting. Level Sorcerer Wizard 7. Something Osric could cast on you. Components. VS. Casting time 1 standard action. Madman and Merlin. I like to think since they transmutate themselves that they're really druids. Multi-class. Wizard druid. Insanity. Enchantment. Compulsion. Mind affecting. Level Sorcerer Wizard 7. Components VS. Casting time 1 standard action. Range medium 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Target 1 living creature. Duration instantaneous. Saving throw will negate. Spell resistance, yes. The affected creature suffers from a continuous confusion effect as the spell. Remove curse does not remove insanity. Greater restoration, heal, limited wish, miracle, or wish can restore the creature. Insect plague. Conjuration summoning. Level cleric 5, druid 5. Components VSDF. Casting time 1 round. Range long 400 feet plus 40 feet per level. Effect. One swarm of locusts per 3 levels each, of which must be adjacent to at least one other swarm. Duration 1 minute per level. Saving throw, none. Spell resistance, no. You summon a number of swarms of locusts. Glasses. Damn it. Right, effect. One swarm of locusts per 3 levels, each of which must be adjacent to at least one other swarm. Duration 1 minute per level. Saving throw, none. Spell resistance, no. You summon a number of swarms of locusts, 1 per 3 levels, to a maximum of 6 swarms at 18th level. The swarms must be summoned so that each one is adjacent to at least one other swarm. That is, the swarms must fill one contiguous area. You may summon the locust swarm so that they share the area of other creatures. Each swarm attacks any creatures occupying its area. The swarms are stationary after being summoned and won't pursue creatures that flee. One contiguous area. Instant summons. Conjuration summoning. Level Sorcerer Wizard 7. Components VSM. Casting time 1 standard action. Range, see text. Target 1 object weighing 10 pounds or less whose longest dimension is 6 feet or less. Duration permanent until discharged. Saving throw, non-spell resistance, no. So Osric can call some non-living item from virtually any location directly to his hand. First, you must place your arcane mark on the item. Then you cast this spell, which magically and invisibly inscribes the name of the item on a sapphire worth at least 1,000 gold pieces. Thereafter, you can summon the item by speaking a special word set by you when the spell is cast and crushing the gem. How do you crush a sapphire? The item appears instantly in your hand. Only you can use the gem in this way. If the item is in the possession of another creature, the spell does not work. But you can know who the possessor is and roughly where that creature is located when the summons occurs. The inscription on the gem is invisible. It is also unreadable except by means of a read magic spell to anyone but you. The item can be summoned from another plane, but only if no other creature has claimed ownership of it. Material component: a sapphire worth at least 1,000 gold pieces. Where would one get such a thing? Oh my goodness. Interposing hand. Evocation force. Level Sorcerer Wizard 5. Components of VSF. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, medium. 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Effect, 10-foot hand. Duration, 1 round per level. D. Saving throw, none. Spell resistance, yes. Oh. Now, how do you crush the sapphire? I don't suppose squeezing it in your hand would work. And then you could only summon one object that way. It seems to me that you should just carry the gem around and then summon the object and it switches places. Like it would make more sense if they switched places. So if you got an item in your stronghold and you're somewhere else in the stronghold or somewhere else entirely, and you just carry the gem with you, and then you cast into the summons, and the gem and the objects just trade places temporally. Crushing a sapphire is crazy. You know how hard those things are. So anyway, interposing hand, evocation force, level Sorcerer Wizard 5, components VSF, casting time 1 standard action, range medium, 100 feet plus 10 feet per level, effect 10-foot hand, duration 1 round per level. D. Saving throw, none. Spell resistance, yes. Interposing hand creates a large magic hand that appears between you and one opponent. This floating, disembodied hand then moves to remain between the two of you, regardless of where you move or how the opponent tries to get around it, providing cover +4 AC for you against that opponent. Nothing can fool the hand. It sticks with the selected opponent in spite of darkness, invisibility, polymorphing, or any other attempt at hiding or disguise. The hand does not pursue an opponent, however. An interposing hand is 10 feet long and about that wide, with its fingers outstretched. So it has as many hit points as you do when you're undamaged, and its AC is 20. -1 size plus 11 natural. It takes damage as a normal creature, but most magical effects that don't cause damage do not affect it. The hand never provokes attacks of opportunity from opponents. It cannot push through a wall of force nor enter an anti-magic field, but it suffers the full effects of a prismatic wall or prismatic sphere. The hand makes saving throws as its caster. Disintegrate or successful dispel magic destroys it. Any creature weighing 2,000 pounds or less that tries to push past the hand is slowed to half its normal speed. The hand cannot reduce the speed of a creature weighing more than 2,000 pounds, but it still affects the creature's attacks. Directing the spell to a new target is a move action. Focus a soft glove. So you put on the soft glove, and a giant 10-foot hand appears in between you and whoever's bothering you. Sorcerer Wizard level 5. Well, something Osric and Madman Mim and Merlin can definitely do. Invisibility, Illusion, Glamour. Level, Bard 2, Sorcerer Wizard 2, Trickery 2. Components, VSMDF. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, personal, or touch. Target you or a creature or object weighing no more than 100 pounds per level. Duration, 1 minute per level D. Saving throw, will negates harmless, or will negates harmless object. Invisibility. Illusion, Glamour, Level, Bard 2, Sorcerer Wizard 2, Trickery 2. Components, VSMDF. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, personal, or touch. Target you or a creature or object weighing no more than 100 pounds per level. Duration, 1 minute per level D. Saving throw, will negates harmless, or will negates harmless object. Spell resistance, yes, harmless, or yes, harmless object. The creature or object touched becomes invisible, vanishing from sight, even from dark vision. If the recipient is a creature carrying gear, that vanishes too. If you cast the spell on someone else, neither you nor your allies can see the subject unless you can normally see invisible things or you employ magic to do so. Items dropped or put down by an invisible creature become visible. Items picked up disappear if tucked into the clothing or pouches worn by the creature. Light, however, never becomes invisible, although a source of light can become so. Thus, the effect is that of a light with no visible source. Any part of an item that the subject carries, but that extends more than 10 feet from it, becomes visible. Of course, the subject is not magically silenced, and certain other conditions can render the recipient detectable, such as stepping in a puddle. The spell ends if the subject attacks any creature. For purposes of this spell, an attack includes any spell targeting a foe or whose area or effect includes a foe. Exactly who is a foe depends on the invisible character's perceptions. Actions directed at unattended objects do not break the spell. Causing harm indirectly is not an attack. Actions directed at unattended objects do not break the spell. Causing harm indirectly is not an attack. The spell ends if the subject attacks any creature. Spell targeting a foe or whose area or effect includes a foe. Thus, an invisible being can open doors, talk, eat, climb stairs, summon monsters, and have them attack. Cut the ropes holding a rope bridge while enemies are on the bridge. Remotely trigger traps. Open a portcullis to release attack dogs, and so forth. If the subject attacks directly, however, it immediately becomes visible along with all its gear. Spells such as Bless that specifically affect allies but not foes are not attacks for this purpose, even when they include foes in their area. Invisibility can be made permanent on objects only and with a permanency spell. Arcane material component. An eyelash encased in a bit of gum arabic. What a strange thing. Invisibility, greater. Illusion, glamour. Level. Bard 4, Sorcerer Wizard 4. Components, VS. Target, you or creature touched. Duration, 1 round per level, D. Saving throw, will negates, harmless. This spell functions like invisibility, except that it doesn't end if the subject attacks. Invisibility, mass, illusion, glamour, level, Sorcerer Wizard 7, components, VSN. Range, long, 400 feet plus 40 feet per level. Targets, any number of creatures, no two of which can be more than 180 feet apart. This spell functions like invisibility, except that the effect is mobile with the group and is broken when anyone in the group attacks. Individuals in the group cannot see each other. The spell is broken for any individual who moves more than 180 feet from the nearest member of the group. If only 2 individuals are affected, the one moving away from the other one loses its invisibility. If both are moving away from each other, they both become visible when the distance between them exceeds 180 feet. Material component, an eyelash encased in a bit of gum arabic. Very strange. I want a quest to find that. Invisibility Purge, Evocation, level, Cleric 3, components VS. Casting time on standard action, range, personal target you. Duration, 1 minute per level, D. You surround yourself with a sphere of power with a radius of 5 feet per caster level that negates all forms of invisibility. Anything invisible becomes visible while in 5 feet of you. A 5-foot radius. Which means anything 5 feet behind you and in front of you. Invisibility Sphere, Illusion, Glamour, level, Bard 3, Sorcerer Wizard 3. So Invisibility Purge is Cleric 3. Components, VSM, area, 10-foot radius emanation around the creature or object touched. This spell functions like invisibility, except that this spell confers invisibility upon all creatures within 10 feet of the recipient. The center of the effect is mobile with the recipient. Those affected by this spell can see each other and themselves as if unaffected by the spell. Any affected creature moving out of the area becomes visible, but creatures moving into the area after the spell is cast do not become invisible. Affected creatures, other than the recipient, who attack, negate the invisibility only for themselves. If the spell recipient attacks, the invisibility sphere ends. But level 3 bards and sorcerers can just invisibility sphere themselves and walk around unnoticed. I mean, so if a band of bards got up on stage with this sphere on them, started playing their instruments, and then like, I think creature spell. It doesn't say visibility, range, personal. Hold on, it doesn't say the visibility. It's 1 standard action, personal. 1 minute per level. 1 round per level for invisibility greater. So what's it? It's 3, 4. So it doesn't say how long it lasts. It's indefinite, I guess. So if you just spell it somehow. and then like you just appear on the stage and start playing your instruments. That'd be pretty wowzer. That'd be pretty wowing to the crowd there. Wowzy. So Iron Body Transmutation. Earth 8, Sorcerer Wizard 8. Components VSMDF. Casting time 1 standard action. Range personal target you. Duration 1 minute per level. It doesn't say for invisibility spear how long it takes to cast or none of that. It just doesn't have it on there. It's so strange. Iron Body. 1 standard action. Range personal target you. Duration 1 minute per level. This spell transforms your body into living iron, which grants you several powerful resistances and abilities. So, Sorcerer Wizard 8. 1 standard action. Grants you several powerful resistances. You gain damage reduction 15 / adamantine. You gain damage reduction 15 per adamantine. You are immune to blindness, critical hits, ability score damage, deafness, disease, drowning, electricity, poison, stunning, and all spells or attacks that affect your physiology or respiration, because you have no physiology nor respiration while this spell is in effect. You take only half damage from acid and fire of all kinds. However, you also become vulnerable to all special attacks that affect iron golems. You gain a +6 enhancement bonus to your strength score, but you take a -6 penalty to dexterity as well, to a minimum dexterity score of 1. And your speed is reduced to half normal. You have an arcane spell failure chance of 50% and a -8 armor check penalty, just as if you were clad in full plate armor. You cannot drink and thus can't use potions nor play wind instruments. So, Earth Sorcerer Wizard 8. Your unarmed attacks deal damage equal to a club sized for you. 1d4 for small characters or 1d6 for medium characters. And you are considered armed when making unarmed attacks. Your weight increases by a factor of 10, causing you to sink in water like a stone. However, you could survive the crushing pressure and lack of air at the bottom of the ocean, at least until the spell duration expires. 1 minute per level. 8 minutes. As soon as you can get them. Arcane material component, a small piece of iron that was once part of either an iron golem, a hero's armor, or a war machine. Iron wood. There we go. Transmutation, level Druid 6. Components, VSM. Casting time, 1 minute per pound created. Range, 0 feet. Effect, an ironwood object weighing up to 5 pounds per level. Duration, 1 day per level D. 6. Saving throw, none. Explosions, no. Ironwood is a magical substance created by druids from normal wood. While remaining natural wood in almost every way, ironwood is as strong, heavy, and resistant to fire as steel. Spells that affect metal or iron do not function on ironwood. Spells that affect wood do not. Spells that affect wood do affect ironwood, although ironwood does not burn. Using this spell with wood shape or a wood-related craft check, you can fashion wooden items that function as steel items. Okay, so using this spell with wood shape or a wood-related craft check. Thus, wooden plate armor and wooden swords can be created that are as durable as their normal steel counterparts. These items are freely usable by druids. Further, if you make only half as much iron wood as the spell would normally allow, any weapon, shield, or suit of armor so created is treated as a magic item with a +1 enhancement bonus. Material component: wood shaped into the form of the intended iron wood object. Well, I would think you would need something else too. Maybe some quicksilver. Irresistible dance. Enhancement, compulsion, mind affecting level, bard 6, sorcerer wizard 8. Components: V. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range touch. Target living creature touched. Irresistible dance. Living creature touch. Duration 1d4 plus 1 round. Saving throw, none. Spell resistance, yes. The subject feels an undeniable urge to dance and begins doing so, complete with foot shuffling and tapping. The spell effect makes it impossible for the subject to do anything other than caper and prance in place. The effect imposes a -4 penalty to armor class and a -10 penalty on reflex saves, and it negates any AC bonus granted by a shield the target holds. The dancing subject provokes attacks of opportunity each round on its turn. Yeah, sorcerer wizard 8, but bard is more likely to cast this on you. Dance by pretties. So, touch. It's a touch attack. Is it impossible? Okay. So, jump. Transmutation. Level, druid 1, ranger 1, sorcerer wizard 1. Components of VSM. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range touch. Target creature touched. Duration, 1 minute per level. D. Saving throw will negate harm. Spell resistance, yes. The subject gets a +10 enhancement bonus on jump checks. The enhancement bonus increases to +20 at caster level 5th and to +30 the maximum at caster level 9th. Material component: a grasshopper's hind leg, which you break when the spell is cast. It's like, okay, here's a wall, I need to jump over it. So 1 standard action. Touch, target creature touched. Duration. So a druid, a ranger, and a wizard walk up to this wall. They form a little triangle and they break 3 grasshoppers' hind legs and touch and then jump over. Get a +10 enhancement bonus on jump checks and increases to +20 at caster level 5th and +30 at caster level 9th. I like the way it's written here, instead of it being, greater, lesser, this and that. It's just jump. It's not greater jump or lesser jump. Then it would have so many, say, a bunch of those other spells where it's just a matter of it being more powerful and for a higher level. That's how it should be listed, like this. Material component. Grasshoppers. So, keen edge. Transmutation. Level sorcerer wizard 3. Components. VS. Casting time, 1 standard action. Range, close, 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. Targets, 1 weapon or 50 projectiles. Keen edge. Sorcerer wizard 3. Yes, 1 standard action range. 25 feet plus 5 feet per 2 levels. 1 weapon or 50 projectiles, all of which must be in contact with each other at the time of casting. Duration, 10 minutes per level. Dang. 10 minutes. Saving throw. Will negates. Harmless object. Spell resistance, yes. Harmless object. This spell makes a weapon magically keen. Range, close, duration 10 minutes. Okay, so its duration is 10 minutes. The casting time is a standard action. Okay. So you cast this, and then for 10 minutes, sorcerer was level 3, so 10 minutes per levels. Okay, so level 3, 30 minutes. Spell resistance, yes. Harmless object. This spell makes a weapon magically keen, improving its ability to deal telling blows. This transmutation doubles the threat range of the weapon. A threat range of 20 becomes 19 through 20. A threat range of 19 to 20 becomes 17 through 20, and a threat range of 18 to 20 becomes 15 to 20. Doubles the threat range of the weapon. The spell can be cast only on piercing or slashing weapons. If cast on arrows or crossbow bolts, the keen edge on a particular projectile ends after one use, whether or not the missile strikes its intended target. Treat shuriken as arrows rather than as thrown weapons for the purpose of this spell. Multiple effects that increase a weapon's threat range, such as the keen edge spell and the improved critical feat, don't stack. They should. You can't cast this spell on a natural weapon, such as a claw. Well, shit. Knock. Transmutation. Level Sorcerer Wizard 2. Components V. Casting time 1 standard action. Range medium 100 feet plus 10 feet per level. Target one door, box, or chest with an area of up to 10 square feet per level. Duration. Instantaneous. See text. Saving throw, non-spell resistance. No. The Knock spell. Open, stuck, barred, locked, held, or arcane locked doors. It opens secret doors as well as locked or trick opening boxes or chests. It also loosens welds, shackles, or chains, provided they serve to hold closures shut. If used to open an arcane locked door, this spell does not remove the arcane lock but simply suspends its functioning for 10 minutes. In all other cases, the door does not relock itself or become stuck again on its own. Knock does not raise barred gates or similar impediments such as a portcullis, nor does it affect ropes, vines, and the like. The effect is limited by the area. Each spell can undo as many as 2 means of preventing egress. No direction. Divination. Level Bard 0, Druid 0. Components. Oh, lunchtime. It is lunchies time. Okay, so page 304. Okay.